Alright, and welcome to Pauly Poos. Guess what? It's only a car boot haularoo. Right, first of all, the stuff I got for out was this Imaginext figure. I picked him up, said how much, and the guy's like, that's not mine, so you can have it. I was like, champion. I don't even know if he worked on the stuff. But anyway, Imaginext figure. I always pick up these when I see them going dirt cheap. Just, the kids love Imaginext, always worth to have. Plenty of Imaginext. What I'm going to do with this is start with the cheapest stuff and work right up to the stuff that I paid the most for. And show you everything I got and a few little stories around the way. Now, before I picked this guy up and got it for nothing, the first went in, saw some toys, went over and they had like bags up and like £3.50 for Spider-Man figures and stupid money. And they had like McDonald's-y toys for like bagged up for like £2, and I was just like, oh my god, what are they thinking? Walked around seeing like a little tub of random toys. Asked the bloke how much they were expecting. They were like 10 pence for the type of style. And he's like, oh, £1 type of style for the lot. I was like, right, oh, there's £1. And he's like, oh, no, I said £2. And I was like, right, well, give us me pound back then. Because it's just like, I'm not playing this game. I'm not getting bidded up. Anyway, so I kind of was a bit like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, I've come to the car boot sale to spend me money and flipping out and getting out. But that sure as heck changed as I went around. So, 10 pence each. I picked up this tennis playing monster in my pocket dude, and also Tony the Tiger the coach. So I got those two, and when I picked them up, the woman was like, oh, let me give you a free gift type of style. And I was like, man, you know me, pet, I didn't knock a free gift back, so I ended up getting this Milky Bar kid who was astride his horse and comes with his hat and all of these like bits that were like, oh, it's like Buckaroo, but not as good type of thing, and saddle thing, and an actual saddle. And I got that for free, so there you go. So that was, 10 pence, 20 pence haul for that stuff. Hold it down there. Then next up, we're down to the 50 pence sort of selection that I got. This tiny little bag of Playmobil. Now, there's only a couple of figures in there, but there's absolutely loads of all sorts of different Playmobil accessories and bits and pieces that go with them, so they're always the bits that people lose, so it was always worth just grabbing a little bag for 50p for that. This, I think, was one of my first purchases. Somebody was selling a few sort of loose Ben 10 figures, and this one is Generator Rex and stuff. Now, he had other Generator Rex stuff, and I was like, well, how much is these? And I'm like, 50 pence each. So I was like, well, I need this guy, I'll take him. And then I picked up the Generator Rex kind of gun thing. And he's like, oh, it's £5. And I'm thinking, you charge him 50 pence for the figures and you want him £5 for the gun thing. I was just like, okay, good luck with that. Bye now. You're never £4. Get out my life. And then the next thing I got for 50p was this rather cool looking, I believe it's official licensed, it's 2001 Terminator 2 3D product, and it's the kind of robotic-y Terminator hand there. Pretty cool. It has buttons that you can press, and I don't know if the batteries work or will work when I plug them in type of thing, but it just seemed like a pretty cool piece. And for 50 pence, I figured I would give our lass someone extra to carry, so that went in the bag. And then there was a little old lady, and she had this trash wheelies. Now, the kids do love these trash wheelies. Had seen them in the pound shop for the 2-packs, which I was thinking, 2-pack for £1, not bad. And she wanted £1 each for these. And I just sort of said, will you take £1 for them both? And she went, aye, Ginannon. So I got those for 50 pence each. So that is the 50 pence section done. Now on to the pound section. There was a woman who had sort of McDonald's-y toys, and I was like, oh, well, that's one of those dinosaurs from Dinosaur that this other person was selling for this, and kind of, I don't know, kind of Ronald McDonald's chin for £2. So she was like, grab a handful for £1, so I grabbed that one. I grabbed the world's hungriest dinosaur. And then 3 of these little sort of McDonald's Smurfs, which I like Smurfs and I like McDonald's. So a pretty good little combination there. So that was £1 for all those. And there was another one where I went, how much are these? And they were like, X amount for £1 type of style. So I picked up this Ben 10 figure. I'm pretty sure I already have him, although I may have a slightly different version. I hope I've got a different version, in which case that's a need. This Star Wars figure, which I do have, but figured it was just worth picking up for pittance. Little Mega Bloks Halo Ooby Dooby lad. A couple of these Russian or German from Indiana Jones. Unfortunately, this one is doing a bit of a, oh God, what is his name? Tom Cruise. Heil Hitler, you haven't got a hand, I know. And then this little transformer of Blackout. Is it Blackout? I don't know, the helicopter lad from Transformers Legends figure. And the last thing was this World Wrestling Federation WWE John Cena spinning belt with spinning thing as well. So pretty cool. I don't have one of those. So I do like them to go with little wrestling figures. So all that was a quid. Right, next thing was £1.50 selection. That's right, I'm just checking what's there just to make sure I don't get this wrong. I went over and there was a little lad and he had a few toys and stuff. And I saw this guy on the table and I was like, oh, how much is the Baymax figure? And he was like, oh, £1.50. And I was like, oh, champion, that's not bad. Does come with a little Baymaxy in his, like, kind of travel mode, I guess. And he was like, oh, I had Gid Frank earlier on and stuff. And I was like, oh, man, the bands get love it. But he was dead canny. And I thought, well, I would normally have tried to get it for cheaper than that. But when it's the kids selling their stuff, you've kind of got to give them a bit of leeway, haven't you? So, £1.50, pretty cool. They're like £9 in the shop still, then.
Unless there's 25% off, in which case then they were there, £9.
This was one of the last places I kind of went to. And the guy was like, oh, it's 3 items for £1. So I kind of grabbed the load out and I was like, well, you take £3 for these. And he's like, oh, £5. So I hired a couple back. And this is where I ended up getting for £3. A Playmobil horse. Playmobil camel. I had to get the camel, like. Excuse the rattling of the bag. A Fisher Price kind of jockey, by the look of it. Special Agent also in his rock climbing outfit gear. Rey Mysterio of the blue variety, which I do believe I don't have this one, so that's another one for my Rumblers collection. An Imaginext diver. Another Imaginext guy, but same but slightly different haircut to the original one I got for free. We have the UK Gladiators Warrior. We have the American Gladiators Zap. Now, Zap was always my favourite American Gladiator. Oh, bit of Zap. Oh. Anyway, and the Playmobil Knight. So that was £3, but oh, hold on, there's more. There's more. So I just, when I saw it, I had to get it. Somebody's made a little Stephanie McMahon custom here with I mean, it is articulated still too, with these little legs. Oh, what a monstrosity. I had to get it. I had to get it. It's just too bad. It's good. Dear me. So yes, I had to get that. So that was all £3, and the other thing that was there, which was kind of the thing I was like, oh God, get that quick, was this Taylor, or Evelyn, Keto. Now, I've never seen, like, I've seen all the kind of He-Man kind of men figure bootlegs, but I've never seen a Taylor bootleg. Arms and heads articulated, she has a chest thing on, but her legs are sort of totally solid, so that's pretty mad. Really chuffed to have found that, like, so definitely I think that's probably worth £3 just on its own type of style. Could be completely wrong, but that's just how I roll. Now then, we're on to the £10. This was the big sort of spends, I guess. Oh, I've just tipped it all over the floor. Well done, Pauly. So, went over and the guy was selling this Pokemon tin. Absolutely jam-packed to the gills with Pokemon cards. So, had 2 of them type of style. And one of them even had a lid. And he also had this basket. This big wicker basket thing, which was kind of about half full of Yu-Gi-Oh! Type of stuff. And I was like, oh, well then, mate, I'm not out about Pokemon, but I'll try me luck. What do you want for these? And he's like, oh, £5 a tin. And that. And I was like, nah. And he was like, oh, £4 a tin. And I was like, nah, I'll tap the lot for a tenner, mate. And he was like, I get on then. So I got I think it's something like 1,350 odd, maybe more, cards, and there's like a load, at least maybe 50 to 100 or so of the holly, like reflective-y ones, as I'm not showing you reflective-y ones. Whoever had them put some of them in these sleeves, so I assume that they must be fairly, so you got the shiny shines and stuff, so I know absolutely nothing about Pokemon, so if anybody's into Pokemon and can guide me into like me retirement fund here, you know, that would be very much appreciated. So there's a load of them, and like I say, there's a I'm not very well, and these were all a hollow and like of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and there's like a pile of about, I don't know, can you say that? Bigger than a sort of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So that was a tenner, and the other thing I got, I paid £10 for, although kind of technically this is a bit of a 2-for-1, sort of more than £10 I paid really. Went over to a guy, quite clearly a dealer. He had loads of toys, loads of Lego stuff, all sorts of bits and pieces, and I thought, oh, he's going to be pricey. He's going to be pricey. Get off! And I was like, how much are the action figures? And he's like, £1.50 each. And I was like, oh, there's a couple there quite fancy, but really £1.50, that's pretty pricey. So picked myself up this Man-Thing Marvel Legends, this reboot, the new version where they were all grown up. Mummy's alive dude with these kind of weird tusks. That's quite interesting kind of tusks there, my friend, for carrying carpets.
They assist mummy carpets.
Spent 10 bag guy, he's a bit beaten up this one, like, but I don't have them, so I figured it was worth picking up. I do kind of want to get quite a lot of Ben 10 figures. I do have quite a lot of order. This absolutely pristine Beetleborg kind of fella. The O'Malley from the Aliens Commando line, which I'm doing pretty well with these at the moment, like, wahey. I think he's one of the more rarer ones as well, so I kind of picked him up. He's pristine. And then there was these two. There's this kid, kind of He-Man-esque knockoff type of dude. He has weird hingy things on his legs. I haven't properly checked for markings, but he's a bit strange. Interesting looking. Picked him up. And this thing, what the heck is this? Hello, lads. What's this? I have no idea. But I know Black Rabbit always says, if you don't know what it is, and it's something you've not seen before, pick it up. So yeah, so I picked all those up. I think there's 8 figures there, and he wanted like, what, 150 each. So I offered him a tenner, and he said, I can have them type of style. So I was happy with that. He was happy with that. I then went down further on his stall and saw loads of cuddly toy stuff. So I'm going to move this to one side so you can kind of see these, because they're a bit bigger. And he had this Gizmo figure. This other, I don't know if that's Gizmo or one of the kind of weird, boggly-eyed one, gremlin. He had this one as well. Don't know if that one's Stripe or the miserable-looking one. But then what he had, which I was like, oh, I'll have to have that, like, was a gremlin. Ah! And it's the one where you unzip him and he turns inside out. And I believe it's either Stripe or possibly this little one here type of thing. So those are absolutely awesome. Very chuffed to have found those. He did also have like Roland Rat sets. He had like Roland Rat, Kevin, the Gerbil, and the other one type of style. And the other thing that he had that I had to get this one. Like, I had to get him. It's only flipping Gordon the Gopher. I always wanted a Gordon the Gopher, and finally, now at the age of 62-year-old, I've finally got a Gordon the Gopher. I do have my original kind of Gordon knockoff that I got when I was like a kid at some market donkeys ago, and I've got him in the loft. I'm going to lift them down and I'm going to reunite them, and it's going to be a special moment where they can get together. So we had those, and I was like, right, well, I've already kind of give you a tenner. What kind of deal we're going to do on these? And he was like, right, well, the 5 of these for, I think he said something like 15 quid or something. No, the 4 of these you wanted 12 quid for, the 4 of the gremlins. And I was like, well, I want Gordon the Gopher, and can I have a look in this other box that he had kind of behind the thing, which didn't have a great deal of great stuff in, but the one thing it did have that I really liked was this Marvel Legends lizard. And I was like, well, I'll take Gordon and the lizard, and will you take 15 quid? And he was like, I get on then. So there you go. That was my car boot haul. I spent £44.70 in total. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's a big spend, but the Pokemon cards, hopefully I can kind of at least get some kind of good trade or make some kind of money back. And all the rest I'm pretty chuffed with, so happy days. So thanks for watching, guys, and do stay tuned if I manage to get to car boot anytime this year at some point. Possibly not, I don't know, but stay tuned for that and other random bits of stuff that I'll high up on my channel, and I'll catch us all later on. Ta-da!